جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي، من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي، أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي، ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي، فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء، فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك، وخالفت بعض أوامرك، فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك، ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاؤك، وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك. وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما، منكسرا مستقيلا، مستغفرا منيبا، مقرا مذعنا معترفا، لا أجد مفرا من مكان مني، ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري، وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري يا الله يا الله، وارحم شدة ضري، وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي. يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات، أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته، أو تبعد من أدنيته، أو تشرد من آويته، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي، أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة، وبشكرك مادحة، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم. يا ربي، وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكثه، يسير بقاؤه، قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه، ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي، فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين؟ يا إلهي، وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني. صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجاء عفوك يا الله؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين؟ يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي، فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه يا الله؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات، ما ذلك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك، وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقامة. لكنك تقدست أسماؤك، أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين، وأن تجل ثناؤك. قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما، أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي، فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها، وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها، أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته، وكل ذنب أذنبته، وكل قبيح أسررته، وكل جهل عملته، كتمته أو أعلنته، أخفيته أو أظهرته، وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني، وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي، وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته، وبفضلك سترته، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير تنزله، أو إحسان تفضله، أو بر تنشره، أو رزق تبسطه، أو ذنب تغفره، أو خطأ تستره. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. everybody. يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي مالك رقي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. ربي يا رب.
أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي، يا إله أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة، وبخدمتك موصولة، وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا، وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي، يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي، يا قوي على خدمتك جوارحي، واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين، وأسرع إليك في البارزين، واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين، وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، واجتمع في جوارحك مع جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فارد، ومن كادني فكد، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك. وجد لي بجودك، واعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأخلني عثرتي، واغفر زلتي، إنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وضمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفن شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا، يا سريع الرضا، اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء، وذكره شفاء، وطاعته غنى، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء، وسلاحه البكاء. يا سابغ النعم، يا دافع النقم، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد، وافعل بي ما أنت أهله. وصلى الله على رسوله الأئمة الميامين من آله، وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الفاتحة إلى روح المرحومة إلهام عواضة، تسبقها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
That's one. Thank you.
You want the lights or turn off?
Turn the light off.
Turn off?
Light off,
Off, okay.
because it'll give better reception. Can you move it there?
Over there? Sure.
Please.
Can't carry that?
I'm going to have to. Oh, there you are. Wow. I know. I'm impressed. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام وتحية الإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا حبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'm fortunate to be in front of you, and inshallah we'll share something valuable. When you come to Masjid, you come for three reasons. And this is about Muhammad Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, second Imam. You come to Masjid for three reasons. One, to do salat. That's zikr Allah. We all did. Number two, to do tilawat al-Quran. We did Duaa Kumail, tilawat al-Quran. And number three, to increase knowledge. It's very important, all of us, Mu'min, Mu'minat, that we strive to improve ourselves. We must. That's the task of every Muslim Mu'min, Mu'mina. That you think of elevating yourself. Allah wants you to go up. And this presentation today, I find remarkable data available today. It's so much available that this topic, Holy Quran, is a complete code of life. So let that no doubt about this. It's complete code of life yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum. 14 centuries ago, Deen was completed. That means whatever anybody needed forever is where? Two places. It is in Quran and Muhammad is Ahl Bayt. Only two other purest sources that we can get to learn from. There is so much available. And Aim al-Athar, they regarded Quran so valuable that it is, you see a story, how they communicated. Rasulullah, all the Imams communicated through their personality, akhlaq, and through the Quran. You know about Fidda. Say that Fatima Zahra Salamullah's lady, she was to be a helper for her. After her death, there's a very beautiful book, and I was reading the whole story that she did nothing but to answer everything from Quran. And there's a big story that she's in the desert, she's lost, somebody comes and talks to her, and everything she said is Quranic ayah. Everything. Everything. That means it's a complete code of life. Now, today, it's a lot of material to cover, but we meet once a week. No pen is capable of describing the excellence and magnificence of the glorious Quran. There is no pen. There are so many tafsir written more and more and more. I know at least 3 people who said, well, I'm writing tafsir to make it easier for people to understand in English. Okay. The other one saying that I'm doing this because. And there'll continue to be people who will go on writing tafsir al-Quran, but Quran's tafsir is not possible other than masoom. Yes, there are some explanation you're going to get, linguistic and others. While describing the Quran, the Holy Quran, the Prophet said, this is important, this is Rasul's call, and this is authentic source. I make sure that whatever I present to you, it comes from reliable scholars, that they have done the research and we benefit from it. Otherwise, it's useless. The superiority of the speech of God over other speeches is like the superiority of God over all his creatures. Do not give anything more importance in your deen than to the Quran. It's a complete code of life. There should be no doubt. Ayatullah Marja'i, Marhum Sayyid Al-Khoi, rahmatullah alayh, he died. A great Iraqi scholar. He wrote a lot of books, and I have benefited from his books. He writes, indeed, it is better to hand over elucidation of the excellence of the Quran to those comparable to the Quran. You have to understand that Allah has preserved this book from, where did he bring it from? Lawh Mahfuz, Kitab al-Maknoon. Then he continued his revelation, gave it to Muhammad, put it on his heart. Now Muhammad is distributing it to whom? Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein. That means we have to go to that academy that Allah has approved. Yes, you can get benefit from going to human-made academies, but the finest is the finest. They are Nabi Muhammad and Ahlul Bayt. Their knowledge is for all times. A lot of people say, well, 14 centuries ago, Bedouins in there, what does Muhammad knew about today's society? Computer, AI, God knows what, things are happening so fast. These are all toys. These are all toys. There's nothing else. These are tools. Tools and toys, means. And best able to point out lofty prestige. To understand the value Allah puts on the Quran is not possible without Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. It's not possible. Anybody, no matter how well versed he is in English and he has memorized the Quran, but without going to Muhammad and Ahlul Bayt, you cannot get its essence. You cannot get the inner detail. The ta'wil is very deep. And they are the spheres, there's excellence and its associates in guidance. They go hand in hand. One is Natik, one is Samit. Samit, do pray, and Rasul will show you how to pray. Fast, he'll show you how to fast. Perfect, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Towards better understanding of the Quran, there's this book, and I admire, as I said, a lot of research scholars. Okay. This is a very essence of Quran. If you look, Quran has been called about 70 titles. Okay, in the Quran, if you look at the word Quran has been used 70 times, and the most is in Bani Israel. Allah, what is Quran? Quran is a kalam Allah, and we are fortunate. What is this? Quran is Allah's words. Did Nabi Muhammad write it? No. Author is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And he said, okay, Muhammad, this valuable thing, you keep it on your heart. There are 4 Asma al-Husna. Set up your base. 4. You know there is 99 Asma al-Husna. Okay? 99, Allah's name. Pardon me? No, 99 are recognized by the Ahl Bayt. 99, no, I understand that, ya Ali, ya Ali, ya Ali, Hajj. There is 99 is what the Ahl Bayt have identified. Yes. Now, if you have more, then tell me then. Yes. Ar-Rahman, Rahim, Malik al-Quddus, Salam, Mu'min, Muhammad. I read it every day and I memorize all 99. My grandchildren have memorized 10. I said, add one more. What is better? If I, in trouble, I said, Ar-Rahman, Rahim, Malik al-Quddus, Salam, Mu'min, Muhammad, Aziz, Al-Jawar, Mutakabbir, Khaliq, Bari, Mustafa, I go to 99. We memorize everything. Names, ages, phone numbers. What we don't do is to memorize Asma al-Husna. Anyway, there are 4 Asma al-Husna that are connected to Quran. See the value of Quran. Allah is saying, I'm attaching the Quran to 4 of my ism. 4. And if you look at the Quran, Al-Azim, magnificent, used only once in the Quran, Quran al-Azim. And 120 times with other subjects. Quran al-Azim only once. With other subjects, 120 times. Surah Hijr, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي Quran Azim, Quran Azim. We have to put the respect of the Quran to the same as Ism Allah, Azim. This is going together. When you say Azim, Quran is right there. When you hold on to the Quran Azim, you're there with the Azim, Ism. Think of it, what he's saying. This is all Quran, Al-Hakim. There are 4, Ism. The wise. He is magnificent, he is wise. Used 4 times in the Quran. And 97 times with other subjects. And this is Surah Yasin. We begin Yasin, what? Quran al-Hakim. Quran al-Azim, Quran al-Hakim. I find it phenomenal that Allah has attached 4 names to this beautiful book. Then he says Al-Majid. Used twice with the Quran, 4 times other subjects. Al-Buruj. Bal huwa Quranun. Quran al-Azim, Quran al-Kareem, Quran al-Majid. Anybody guess what the 4th one is? Salawat ala Muhammad ala Muhammad. Okay, he's going to guess. What is it? You just might be right. Anybody guessing what the 4th one is that is attached to the Quran? Azim, Hakim, Kareem. How many say Kareem? Oh my God, that's very good. None of the sisters say that, nothing, no? Yes? You? No? Okay. Al-Kareem. See how selective Allah has done. Allah says, I'm magnificent, I'm wise, I am glorious, and I'm bountiful. This is Quran. This is Allah is saying in his book. Used only once with the Quran in Surah Yasin and 30 times in other parts of it. Innahu la Quranun Kareem. Let's continue. I have a lot of material, so be patient a little bit because this is my last evening here because Sheikh is returning and I can go and retire now full time. Excuse me? Ayatul Marja Marhum Sayyid Al-Khoyi Rahmatullah alayhi. Great scholar, and he has a very high rank with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And see how beautifully he explains what can a person say in describing the imminence of the Quran and its glory. No human being, no matter how learned you are, can what can he say to explain its excellence and sublimity? How can a contingent being perceive the greatness of the speech of the absolute being? We are fortunate. I consider myself fortunate to be a Muslim and be able to read Quran. I'm trying hard. I don't know Arabic, but I've got dictionaries. I have dictionaries. Quranic Arabic to English, Quranic Arabic to different. At least Allah says, you put the effort, you sow the seed, I'm going to split the seed. You are the farmer. Just go on putting the seed in your heart. What can an author write about this subject? What can a speaker say? Can a limited being describe anything that is limited? This is Khui, Rahmatullah, saying it. And he has a very high status of knowledge. And his books, his personality, he is one of the highest marja. Served the world. His followers are still there. The Quran is the training of the human being as being conscious of his duties. How simple can it be? It's training me. Anybody who says, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, the training begins. It's up to the student, like how well you take this source of learning. This is training of the human being, tarbiyah. The main aim of the Quran is therefore to reinforce, accelerate the spiritual ascension together with all the qualities of human being toward a state of true loftiness and the dignity of which the human being is worthy. One night, Salama, rahmatullah alayha, Rasul's wife. Rasul was in his hujra and she described, when I got up in the night, I didn't see him. I got worried. What happened to my husband? She started looking for him. She found me in a corner of the room, praying and shaking and crying. In the corner of the room. This is Muhammad. He knows the value of being abd. This is the way they describe, and this is what he said. He said, leave it to the Masumeen. Today, there is no excuse. There is so much material available on every topic. There are websites, Al-Islam, Ahl Bayt Library, and I get confused. One topic, have all the books there. Just name it. I don't have an excuse. He taught the Quran, and always remember that Quran gives you the argument, perfect argument. I cannot add to it. I cannot say, well, Quran meant this. No. I have to find out what the Quran is telling me. There's a difference. I run away with my imagination. Very limited. Surah Nahl. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. I have sent to you, we have sent to you the reminder. Quran is dhikr, direct connection. Allah is taking responsibility. He said, I'm the one sending you to Muhammad. Think how powerful Rasul's heart is, taking the whole Quran. Mountains didn't take it, skies didn't take it, earth didn't take it. Human being took it, one, Muhammad, and kept it on his heart. He describes the Quran, teacher of the Quran said about the excellence of the Quran. He said about it in a sermon, when mischief comes to confuse you like the segments of darkened night, hold fast to the Quran. Allahu Akbar. But you have to have a connection with the Quran. When I'm in trouble, I go to Quran, and the trouble goes away, I don't know where the Quran is at home. Only when I'm sick, when I'm hurting, I'm in pain, I need something urgently, I go to the, Salat al-Layl, I do this, I read Quran. But once the trouble is gone, and there's long stories about the Bani Israel. When Allah saved them from drowning Pharaoh, they stepped on the dry land and they forgot Allah completely. As soon as they stepped, drowning, as it is the intercessor whose intercession shall be granted, it is a credible advocate. He's a wakil. Quran is a wakil. Allah has one hand on it and Quran is the other. And whoever keeps it before him, it will lead him to garden. Holding is refining ourselves. It's a human training, tarbiyah. Quran knows what I am. I cannot sit with the Quran. I only deceive myself. If I'm not honest, if my ikhlas is not there, if my qalb salim is not there, Quran says this guy, this person is nus. Little here, little there. I give him now and he'll go and forget it. By the time, next day he'll forget completely. And whoever keeps it behind, it'll drive him to the fire. May Allah save us from that. And it is the guide that guides to the best path, and it is a book in which there is explanation, particularization, individualization, and it is a decisive word, not a joke, and the Quran says it. Okay, let's continue. And there is the manifest, okay, zahir wa batin. Allah said, I'm going to give you two ni'mah, zahiri wa batini. And just see what it says about this is apparent meaning, its apparent meaning is firm, and its esoteric meaning is knowledge. The batini we don't know, zahiri we know. What is Surah Fatiha mean, Surah Ikhlas mean, Qadr mean. These are zahiri. Just one surah. They have done a lot of tafasir on Surah Fatiha. I was looking at several scholars who try to explain Surah Fatiha. At best, whatever they can tell is what their limited knowledge was. Surah Fatiha has got a very high status. And people have tried to explain over and over and over and over again. Then you have its exterior is elegant and its interior is deep. It's a very deep ocean. Very, very deep ocean. So deep that we cannot even understand how deep it is. It has many boundaries, and its boundaries have many boundaries within circle to circle to circle to circle. Its wonders shall not cease, and unexpected marvels shall not be old. There are in it the lamps of guidance. I sit with the Quran with a preconceived notion. While I have learned a little bit of ayahs, I have memorized Surah Yasin, I've done this. Iblis is saying, yeah, you have done enough. There I am in front of the Quran, and Iblis is fanning my ego. Iblis is fanning my ego. La ilma lana illa ma allamtana. Only knowledge he will give is the true knowledge. Lamp of guidance, beacon of wisdom, guide to knowledge for him who knows the attributes. We have to know the akhlaq. And I find it very amazing. Nabi Muhammad lived 63 years of his life, only 63. And yet, people still are dumbfounded by his personality. They're writing books and books and books and books and books and books, and they cannot finish. Because you have two elements, Quran, Muhammad, Muhammad, Quran. To describe Muhammad, you have to go to Quran. To know Quran, you have to go to Muhammad. It's a perfect combination Allah has given us. One should extend his sight and should let his eyes reach the attributes so that one who is in perdition may get deliverance. Funny, we don't, if you read the stories of the Quran, look at Musa alayhi salam, Nabi Musa alayhi salam. He ran away from Egypt because he defended one of his followers and killed the man, Egyptian, so now Pharaoh wants to find him. So he ran away. In the desert, walking in the desert, running away, sits under a tree. What does he say? I need your help, Allah, I'm faqir. I'm faqir. Sitting under the tree. Why did Allah put this story there? To show the destitute of a Nabi. But he never lost the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabbi inni anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. I need your help, Ya Allah. I need your help. Sorry? That's okay. I'll go a little faster to finish. And I hope, for, not my sake, for your own sake. This is tarbiyah. I'm just sharing it with you. Okay? Allah says, you just go on giving. Balligh, 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 balligh. After his death, the Prophet appointed his progeny, Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, to carry on the work. And one representative is still there. He's in Ghaibat al-Kubra. He's there. That's my faith. He's there. A Hadi has to be there. Kulle qawmin had. One person there, two people, one was going to be the Hadi. It is clear from his unanimously accepted tradition, I'm leaving behind. You have heard this many a times. How do you connect these two? It's very difficult, very, very, very difficult. Come Muharram, come Ramadan, and you know, you have all kinds of happening. Mawlud Nabi, Shahadat Nabi, Wiladat Sayyida Fatima Zahra Salamul Alayhi, Imam Ali and the other Imam. Things are happening. But what happens in between? Do we remember them only one day? Then we forget. We forget. Oh, well, yeah, today is Mawlud, you know, we give hug and kisses and all and all and all, and then tomorrow we're gone. The book of Allah and my progeny. And these two shall meet at the Hawd Kawthar. Let's continue. This is important. Watch this carefully. I mean, every one of these is very, very important. Not because I say so, because it is worth. From a very noble scholar. Allama Majlisi narrates from Harith al-Hamadani. I entered the mosque and some persons were in deep controversy about some hadith tradition. And it happens even today. This argument among, you know, oh, did Rasul say this, did Rasul say this, did Rasul say this? And there is a lot of concoction. A lot of concoction in the narratives, hadith. Believe me. There's so much confusion that it is taking part, you know, and there is something happening. I don't want to go into specific, but people have taken their culture, their own whims, and made it a part of a religion. It has nothing to do with a religion. Nothing to do with a religion. Okay, so I went to Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salam. And are you aware that people at the mosque are in dispute over hadith? And they're still arguing. And listen to the answer Ali ibn Abi Talib will give you. He said, I have indeed heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See how he's referring to his teacher. He didn't say, I know it. No, he's referring to his teacher. I got it from Muhammad, Muhammad got it from Allah. They are recognizing. Muhammad recognizes his teacher. Muhammad recognizes his teacher. Ali recognizes his teacher. There shall be sedition after me, now, which is still there. Salawatu ala Muhammad ali Muhammad. I ask, how do we avoid fitna? Anybody? The Prophet said. Anybody guess what did the Prophet say? The solution for fitna. Huh? Anybody? Perfect solution. But Quran will give you what you deserve, not what you desire. There's a difference. If my niyyah is something, Quran knows me better than I know myself. So don't try to deceive Quran, it'll never happen. So when Quran sees me, he says, I know what's going to happen. I give him what he needs, and by tomorrow, by 1 week, he won't even remember what he asked me. I've got everything. I don't need Quran now. So Quran is looking your inside. Describe the Quran, the book of God, the book of, it is the information about those who were before you, what will come after you, and it will be the judge among you. And Quran says very clearly, Muhammad, I'm giving you the book, judge people with this book. And I put the book on the shelf, and I start arguing on important issues. on issues of deen, fiqh, rules. There is nothing left out from the book. It's only the level of understanding we can reach out to. It is a final decision and not a jest. And it's Surah Tariq. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ. It's very small, 6 letters. Behold, this is the word that this is good and even. It is nothing, it's not a thing for amusement. I don't think I know the seriousness of the value of the Quran. The day I will know it, maybe you won't see me ever again. Once I know the value, Quran will teach me. Quran will touch me. Quran will incite me. Quran will evoke that feeling in me. And what I do with it is my problem. It is that which not even the might could forsake without being shattered by God. Whoever seeks guidance in anything other than God will lead astray. And that's what's happening today. Believe me. I know many live examples. I know live examples. There are people I know. I have a friend whose brother has got $100 million worth. $100 million, my knees begin to shake. $100 million, my God. $100 million, he cannot remember anything. Zero memory. He can't remember what he has in his house. He needs 24/7 caretaking. That money is buying him what? A 24/7 nurse. $100 million. This is a real, I know it, for sure. Then you know about Steve Jobs and on and on. It is the firm rope of God, because what we are not missing the point is this struggle is being weighed what you will get in the next life. Everything you do, everything you say, the results are there waiting in the next life. In the next life. And that's why Rasulullah said, I saw my uncle, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. I mean, great supporter of Islam. I saw him, he says he saw a plate, Rasul describing, he said, I saw my uncle with a plate of pomegranate. And as he was eating pomegranate, suddenly it turned into dates. All pomegranate, they turned into dates. I was amazed. I asked, Uncle, what is this magic? You are eating pomegranate, you're eating pomegranate, and suddenly he says, for 3 reasons. I never refused somebody who was in need. I never refused. I always believe in you, O Muhammad, and I always support Ali ibn Abi Talib. These were the reasons. Okay. It is the wise remembrance, Surah Al-Imran, Zikr Hakim. It is the straight path. Hearts will never deviate, nor will the tongues. That's the whole story of Karbala. Every Imam, if you study their life, they will never compromise their faith, their deen for anything. Study carefully every life. Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussain, and Imam Zain, Imam Bakr, Imam Sadiq. Each one was a rock. Each one was a rock. Scholars will never have their full of it. It will never wear out from constant use, nor its wonders be exhausted. I find it, I sit there and said, oh my God, I've been reading this Quran. I try to finish 1 juz a day, and I said, wow, this is totally new. Because he decided to open that lid from my ignorance. He decided to lift, just like a child gets a candy, you get a good grade. It is that which when the jinns heard it, jinns don't have their own book. They follow Quran as such, okay? So when they heard, we heard, it has been revealed to me that a company of jinns listened to the Quran. They said, we have really heard a wonderful recite, Quran and Ajaba. This is jinn. And everything in the Quran is for you and me, all of us. All human beings for all time. So to say that, well, no, Quran is for all of us, for all time. Okay, I'm getting closer to finish line. You will receive the reward, believe me. And reward are such that everything that you see in this life, it will not compare. It just not compare. It will guide to the Sirat al-Mustaqim, follow it. Ibn Hisham writes in the life of Prophet, so strong was the heartfelt desire of the people to hear the Quran. This is what I was trying to tell you. That Rasulullah used to walk the streets of Medina and he used to recite. And in order to listen throughout the night, just that melody, just the melody, the way he was doing was astounding, was moving people, moving hearts, moving souls. The Messenger of God, that this happened many times. Can you go back? Okay, Imam Ali describes, and this should be the last one, there are 40 attributes. Please take whatever you want. There are 41 attributes Imam Ali is giving. He describes the Quran as follows. He revealed the book to Rasulullah. Number one, it is a light whose radiance shall not be extinguished. People have tried for 14 centuries. And in Sweden, there's some foolish people are burning the Quran. He's only burning himself. Little does he know what's waiting for him. Quran will live today, tomorrow, and forever. Quran is forever, for all times. It's Allah's kalam. A lamp whose flame shall not die, an ocean whose depth shall not be fathomed. I mean, this is Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. He's saying an ocean whose depth shall not be fathomed, a path which will never lead you astray, a blaze whose brilliance shall not be darkened, a criterion whose evidence shall not be suppressed. It is so, I mean, this is just one little sermon of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I'll continue going, I'll probably go to the next level. Source of faith and prosperity. Any doubts in it? No. You sit with Quran, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, I'm here. But if I have preconceived notion, I've got to this, I've got to this, I've got only 10 minutes for you, Allah. Well, that's how you're going to get. When you sit in front of Allah and you have all the things running in your head, whatever they are, your children, husband, wife, whatever you have, distractions. And those distractions are the ones that are stopping our progress for all of us. Fountainhead of knowledge and justice, support of Islam's foundation, valleys of truth and faith. I mean, this is Ali ibn Abi Talib talking in Nahj al-Balagha. And after Quran, according to most Shia scholars, the level of knowledge is Nahj al-Balagha, after Quran, just under Quran. There's a khutbah, inshallah. It's a very long khutbah. They called it a khutbah ajiba wa khutbah gharra. Eminence and depth. It's there. I've got it on my PowerPoint, but it'll take a long time. He describes life for all of us. He says this, and this is titled as Eminence and Fascination, Wonders. And it is, believe me, it's very simple, but I need 3 or 4 weeks to show you. An ocean, and I'll continue quickly so that your stomachs don't complain. A signpost for everybody. We are travelers, remember now. We are all travelers in time here. Hilltops, continue, like, let me get to the last one. These things take time to explain, sessions, to go over one by one by one by one. A rope whose knots are firm. Because you hold his rope, the other rope is there in the earth. Hmm? Habla min Allah. Absolutely. Okay. I'm getting close to the finish line. A guidance for whoever follows it. There are rules and etiquettes. When you sit, when you go, let's say, give you an example. If one of you, I wouldn't say fortunate, but you get an invitation to go the President of the United States in Biden. My God, it's such a trial to get an appointment with the President of the United States to go and see him. First, you'll never get the permission. Two, there'll be several layers of scrutiny. What you're going to wear, how you're going to stand, how you're going to address him, how you time to the security, man. And this is only a human being. And we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give me. Okay, let me continue and get towards the end. I know I'm going a little fast. I'm just trying to get to the last slide so that your empty stomach don't make noise. You have to accept the judgment Quran gives you. Do not supersede. If I go to Quran and there is something I don't like, hey, that's my problem. Don't go there with that attitude. Quran tells you, don't do it, don't do it. Okay. The brilliant oration reviews many important points which call for careful reflection. We all follow Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, but what do we know about them? What do we know about their lives? What do we know about the lessons they're giving us as followers? They are forever living. Every aspect of their life will stay forever. Every aspect of their life. Imam Ali means that the Quran is a book whose significance shall not be exhausted. People have tried, and there are 3 challenges, by the way, in the Quran. First one is Bani Israel. Allah is challenging. He says, all the humans and all the jinns get together to produce a Quran like this. It's been 14th century, nobody can do it. All the human beings, all jinn, 4 billion people plus jinn. It's been 14 centuries. He said, bring a Quran like this. Bring a Quran like this. He said, you can't bring the whole Quran, bring 10 surahs like this. Bring 1 surah like this. Quran's power. The day of resurrection. Surah Ra'ad. In every people there is a guide. Believe me, Allah will not send anything to us, to the world, without a guide. It's up to recognize what are the symptoms of the guide, what are the qualities of the guide, where to find him. I remember when I went for Hajj, and when you go and throw the stones, I mean, people are taking out their shoes and throwing at this, throwing Iblis. And then they go out there and become Iblis. Iblis is sitting inside, and he laughs at us. He laughs at us. So look at this, fanatics. Fanaticism. All right, this is the last one. This is from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. Ali is the guide, and the guide is always one of us. Then you, for whom may life be, Abi anta wa mani, you are the guide. You're right, said the Imam. The Quran lives and will not die. The verses live, will not die. How fortunate we are. I consider myself that here's a rope of Allah, light of Allah. Here's an exhausting source for me to improve myself for the next life. If a verse were to die, then everything will go down with it. If Quran was only for a limited time, limited people, limited this, it would have gone by now. As the miracle of Islam, miracle of Quran. A So long as the Quran is among us, it's on Muhammad's heart, Muhammad is that, or one from the Muhammad is with us. Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. Imam Sadiq reported that the Quran lives and has not died, and it is existent just as the day and the night, and the sun and the moon are existent. And it will exist for the last among us as it existed for the first. One person, there's going to be Quran there with him. And this concludes my presentation. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم بحق محمد آل محمد عليك صل على محمد آل محمد واجعل النور في بصري وبصيرة في ديني واليقين في قلبي وإخلاص في عملي والسلامة في نفسي والسعة في رزقي وشكر لك عبدا ما أبقيتني